So, welcome once again for the final time in the Swiss. You have Jonas Kostler, the Austrian, on the left of your screen. He is up against Maxim Gryn on the right for the Canadians. And all the marbles are in play. This could be a warm-up for the final in a couple of hours' time. Or will Owen Turtenwald, Conley Woods and Eric Froelich, or maybe even Matt Sperling, Dave Williams and Paul Rietzel get through the door. Let's see how we go. We begin with the Drudge Beetle from Maxim Gryn on the right and Sunspire Griffin from Thomas Holzinger.
It's nice, the perfect answer to Gryn's 2-2, a 2-3. Although Kessler's deck looked like it was like the tiny little bit that I didn't get to see, it seems like an incredibly aggressive deck. So it would not surprise me in the slightest if he was going to be starting to turn that 2-3 together or sideways as quickly as he possibly can. So Gryn has reached 3 mana here. Let's see what he's going to add to his side. That is Jamie Naylor. So that is a good point. And yeah,
the yellow bar magically appearing. So we've got the Golgari Keyring turning up for Naylor.
2-2 Death Touch upon activation.
In we go with the Sunspire Griffin. No reach at the moment elsewhere. Second island, so all the mana Holzinger could possibly want now in terms of colour at least. And 3 mana, there's another 2-2, and this is your kind of real traditional Azorius deck. Make a couple of 2-2 flies. What he wants now is Detain, bit of dramatic rescue, bounce action, counterspell maybe, inaction injunction, and just hit you for 4 through the air a bunch of times.
It doesn't even need to be a bunch of times. Yeah, just a handful and the game's over.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, the prevalence of combat tricks in the green-white decks when Naylor sent his 2-2 into Holzinger's 2-3. Like, it's one of those gut check moments, like, do you want to toss your guy in front? It's almost never right to just go ahead and throw your guy away there, but sometimes you just figure he doesn't have anything, and there are way too many really good combat tricks in this format.
He generally does.
Yeah.
Chorus of Might, Surge, Giant Growth, Swift Justice.
Yeah, Swift Justice is
That's a beating of a card. Lovely little card.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So Centaur's Herald, which is generally pretty good, but here doesn't get to do the extra value of block, then turn it into a 3-3. Here it will just get bypassed through the air. And Holzinger. Wonder if this is going to be a Knightly Valor. That would be a pretty solid play if there was.
Yeah.
I think that's the white card flicking by.
It looked like it. The Knightly Valor is one of those cards, I mean, especially if he tosses it on his 2-3 there, turning it into a 4-5 Vigilance flyer. I mean, ups his clock and completely puts the kibosh on anything that Naylor's going to do trying to get into combat.
The other thing, though, what he might do is put it onto the Vassal Soul, because Vassal Soul is multicolored, and that gets rid of Ultimate Price as a way to kill it from Naylor's side.
Sure.
It's a question of whether you value that 5th toughness more than turning off a quality removal spell.
And honestly, it depends on whether he's seen the Ultimate Price from Naylor, because if he hasn't, most of the power pumping spells, like most of the combat tricks, are +2/+0 or +2/+2. I mean, sorry. So that extra toughness, making it a 3 difference between the powers of the creatures, it makes a big difference. I mean, it makes a big difference with the Drudge Beetle. It makes a little difference with the Centaur that's coming out.
Yeah, you see, you look at it there, and the fact that he's chosen the Vassal Soul, it is, should Naylor have had that removal spell, he doesn't get to use it, just that little bit of protection.
Yeah.
And good news for Holzinger and Austria fans right now, because that is a very big threat. 6 through the air has just come through. There's still a 4/4 defend, 4/4 back to defend, not a defender, and also the 2/2 Knight. Here comes the center, as you'd expect, from Naylor at end of turn.
Holzinger looks like he's got a Paralyzing Grasp in his hand there. I think that's what that is. So he'll have a conditional, one of the many conditional removal spells in this format.
Draft number 97, please come pay. Draft.
All right, looks Naylor is in a tight spot. Like,
yeah.
2-turn clock on the other side of the table.
Yeah, so he might as well just pile in and see what can be done.
Yeah, combat's still not terribly pretty for Holzinger. Like, with that 4/4, he has to be afraid of every combat trick except for Swift Justice.
Mm-hmm. Look at the board on the right there, and you see the Golgari Kirun kind of lurking in between two forests. That's something just to sort of have in the back of your mind, as might turn out to be relevant one day in this match, but certainly not relevant right now.
Oh.
Stonefair Crocodile comes down, has the potential to gain lifelink. But still not that big of a deal. Yes, it changes the math a little, but it requires pretty significant investment, and well, I don't think Holzinger would be too worried to see that come down.
I don't. If it gets an opportunity to have some sort of enhancement placed on it, like, it is well worth the opportunity. And he, like, in the green black white deck, like, you'll have the opportunity for that to happen. But I mean, currently, like, Holzinger is very, very far ahead right now.
Sure, I mean, if he can do the whole giant growth, then give it lifelink, kill your guy, mine stays alive, it isn't a trade, I gain 6 life. Obviously fantastic.
Which isn't a terribly convoluted scenario, actually.
Oh, no,
like,
no,
despite the number of words required to describe
it. No,
yeah.
It's just, here, let's have a perfectly decent green common combat trick and a black mana open.
Yeah, and it's kind of a time walk in those kind of situations, because you're basically, you're killing a creature, setting your opponent back a turn, and setting them back an attack with the life gain unit. And that's actually, he has that exact combo in his hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Except for right now, he's not going to be able to gain the life.
Yeah, that seems odd, because the key to this is the life gain, not the trade, I would have thought.
The key is the combination of the two. I mean, the life of the two, the life gain is definitely the most important part, considering that he is having his life total here.
Yeah.
What else does he have in his hand? I mean, it's possible that in his hand he also has an answer. Holzinger might use that paralyzing grasp on. I mean, I don't think you can use the paralyzing grasp on the centaur here. I think you've got to wait for your opportunity to use it, or maybe simply just play it on the crocodile.
As a by the by, you notice that Maxime Gryn is 1-0 up over Jonas Kostler at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, and Holzinger chooses to go ahead and use it to stop the 3 points of damage, content to allow Naylor to activate that crocodile, knowing that it's going to cost him over half of his current mana in order to do that every single turn.
Yeah. Yes, Naylor's from Holzinger's point of view, Naylor is probably not winning from there.
Yeah. Ooh, I see a Trostani's Judgment in Naylor's hand. He just hit 6 mana for it, which is pretty significant here.
Convenient.
Very convenient.
Very convenient, yes. Just for newer players, worth remembering that regardless of only having 1 black mana, Stonefair Crocodile can't pile up the life links. There's no way to go 3 mana lifelink, 3 mana lifelink, so I gain 3 times as much, double as much life.
Right.
That's not the way lifelink works anymore.
Nope, no double lifelink. And there goes the Judgment. We're going to likely see a removal of that Geist.
The Vassal Soul.
Dead Ghosty Man's. And a 3/3 that is no longer under the bonds of that enchantment comes into play. Now, all of a sudden, things have completely swung around.
Yep. And you have to imagine that Holzinger doesn't currently have Supreme Verdict, otherwise he probably held on to the paralyzing grasp.
Certainly. Although, a Skywatch there that he just drew.
I think it's Skyline. Is that the Skyline Predator?
Oh, is that what that is?
I believe that is the Skyline Predator.
Yeah, that's a big game. Like, I was happy with that being an Asperia Skywatch, but
sure.
Skyline Predator is the next level. Now, this is a dangerous following turn. Like, even... Yeah, this is a dangerous turn because we did talk earlier about Naylor having that little key rune hiding there in his mana base, and
yeah,
it becomes incredibly relevant right now.
And when you kind of stare out at the whole board like that, there is no real sign of it anywhere. I mean, it really is hidden, and I'm not suggesting for an instant that's a Naylor ploy.
Oh, no.
But it is very hard to see.
It can get lost in the shuffle. Like, things like that happen all the time. I've forgotten that I had a Birds of Paradise or Llanowar Elves in play because it just hangs out with my forest before. That's where the Birds of Paradise live. They live in trees. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not.
Now you do.
Oh, okay. Whenever I've seen one, it's been like floating high in the sky above a like volcanic island type thing.
It's a tropical island.
Yeah.
He lives in the trees on the tropical island. I mean, they can't fly forever.
Okay.
They're not like sharks. If sharks stop swimming, they die. Like birds, if they want to stop flying frequently. I mean, it's just that's life. That's biology. Come on now.
Okay.
All right, here's some combat math. Naylor again counting out loud, doing the point maneuver everybody seems to do nowadays.
Yeah.
We talked about that, like the difference, like in cultures a lot of times, like I heard from like a lot of the Japanese players, like it's Phantom Abacus math, like them just like that's just how they learned when they were in elementary school. And
yeah, that's where it originates, isn't it?
I figure for a lot of the Americans, it's simply like this is what they do when they're counting stuff up, like on Magic Online.
Yeah. All right, so we have a 3/3 Centaur, 3/2 Stonefair Crocodile, a 2/2 Drudge Beetle, which may eventually have Scavenge, up against currently a lone 2/3. That is not how this combat is going to resolve.
Yep. I am a little surprised that the Key Rune is not also doing his business, but I think Naylor's cards are both black, and so it would tap him out of black mana in order to do that.
There is Mr. Skyline.
That guy... I mean, this harkens back to Odyssey block, when people would have 5 mana, including a white mana, open, and you knew that they had second thoughts. You're just like, I have to attack here, but but I know what I'm getting into. Like,
yeah. So, get in the way of the Crocodile, get in the way of the Drudge Beetle. That seems perfectly reasonable. It is now back to Naylor with trickery, should he have any. Holzinger with just 1 white mana, which, you know, is precisely enough for swift justice.
True story. Yep, and all of a sudden...
And still no lifelink. That's the second time that Naylor has had the opportunity to gain life and has chosen not to. So, fair enough, he needed all 7 mana for Terror Swarm, which is a 5/5. Holzinger is currently 1 point shy. He has drawn Inaction Injunction.
I love that card so much.
Yes.
Everything about it. It's just like, it's a good card, an awesome name.
So, the thing is, though, it doesn't in and of itself enable him to attack with both. Because he is dead to the Centaur if both attack. He has drawn Skymark Rock, I believe, off the card draw from an Action Injunction. So he just sends in the Skyline Predator.
Yep.
It's 3 apiece, and things have swung pretty significantly Holzinger's way. You're going to see Skymark Rock come out now. Tremendous card.
And now it's on Naylor to find an answer to 2 flyers this turn.
Yeah, now he has access to 1 white mana, so it can't be a greedy Azorius Justicia. Because that would be enough for the win. Yeah, I think Holzinger might have this one.
I think you might be correct.
Still got the Golgari Key Rune.
Yeah.
Lest we forget.
Legacy players, that is time in the round. Again, that is time for Legacy.
Reminder that this could be a preview of the final. Certainly Holzinger, Graffenstein and Kostler are in with a win. Certainly with a loss They are out because already up to 42 points are the likes of Woods, Frolic and Turtenwild. The Canadians may well make the final even with a loss here. Very likely on the balance of tie breaks, but it is not certain.
Saw Conley Woods walk by a moment ago, like looking to see how things were going. Just, he's walking by, nodding back and forth with his fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Pairings for your next round have now been posted. 2 p.m. sealed players, pairings for round 3 are now up.
This is a difficult tournament to make the finals of. Like, I mean,
yes.
every Grand Prix is, but like based on the way that the structure of the format went for this, it is a difficult tournament to make the finals of. Like more so, I think, than well, potentially more than normal. So
There you have it. Couldn't find a way through.
No.
So where do we go next, Mr. Richard Miller? How about...
Take us to the bridge. That actually is taking us to the bridge. All right, thank you.
Indeed. So this will be Graffenstein against Siow, where currently Lucas Siow leads by 1-0. And they are rather neatly just gearing up, just heading off into game 2. It's Corrose the Guildmage on the left of your script.
I like that card a lot.
Siow will open with a Frostburn Weird.
Frostburn Weird is a powerful card.
Yeah. 3 mana Axebane Guardian for Graffensteiner. And there's the turn 3 combo. Pursuit of Flight onto Frostburn Weird. It's a 3/6. It's a 4/5. Bang.
I think you and I have spoken of this deck over the course of the weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm really glad to see this on here, just because fundamentally it sounds like we must be joking.
Yeah.
So you get this 1/4, and then you get this like creature enchantment. It makes it a bit bigger, and you make it fly, and it's really, really aggressive. Like all of that sounds completely wrong.
Yeah.
And here it is, being played by the current tournament leaders who have lost 1 match all weekend thus far, until the last, just before the last round.
I mean, this is a fairly solid build on Graffensteiner's side.
Because the Jailbreaker is for real, courtesy of the Guildgate. So Graffensteiner's like, well, I'm not interacting with that. So you, if you want to spend your turn going pump, pumpity pump, go right ahead. And Siow says, I think I better not. So why don't you just take the 3, and then I'll spend all 4 of my mana.
Oh, man. Give that guy
for
unleash.
a Blood-Free Giant. It's the 5/4 Trampler.
He is a big man.
Goodness me, this is powerful magics.
It surprised me when I found out the Blood-Free Giant. I mean, I found out that he was an uncommon. I mean, it makes sense that he's an uncommon and not a rare, but it's like, it is a very, very strong card for its cost.
Yeah, and you feel in the drafts where there are 2 of them and you get both of them, you're going to feel very good.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Replace a sleeve, split that bad boy.
I think that might be a Grizzly salvage, possibly.
Possibly.
He's re-sleeved. Pretty sure there's a Tenement Crasher sitting there, which is interesting. Again, using the Axebane Guardian not just as ramp, but as fixing.
Yep. And thank goodness that the Ogre Jailbreaker has Defender as a keyword ability on him, and not necessarily something that's conditional. Having that gate doesn't make him lose Defender. He just can attack as though he didn't have it.
Yeah.
Gives him a little bit of extra mana. But the trample on that Giant is actually super important, considering the Guildmage on Graffensteiner's side. Like, the ability to sacrifice a creature and create an army of little 1/1 blockers to jump off for a little while, like, could feasibly slow things down a little bit, which Graffensteiner needs to find a way to stem the bleeding right now, because Siow's got a massively aggressive side of the table.
I can literally make 0 decisions. No blocking and no mana.
So let's see what Graffensteiner comes out with. 6 mana. And I
Spawn a Brixmati? Spawn a Brixmati? Is that what that card's called?
It's not only 5. The spawn's only 5 mana.
Yeah, well,
Oh, he just burnt for one, as it were.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't know that he's got his own jailbreaker out. Can't count. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I mean that's odd because I mean you would want to have a forest open to represent giant growth. I mean that's an actual. There can't be any benefit to having done that way.
No, I mean I'm curious as to whether he'd just not thought about.
He's thinking Axebane Guardian taps for the red. He's interested in the red, and it's like, well, it's that plus 4.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long weekend.
Yeah, I fault no one at this point. I've been calling cards names that are not real words all weekend long. So
not just not real card names, but actually not real words.
I'm pulling awesome. A William Shakespeare this weekend.
He's a writer.
I've heard as much.
An opponent is waiting for his next round. Please report your result.
Well, the Alpha Strike drops Siow down to 10, but Siow gets a nice swing back. That unleashed spawn of Rex Motti can't really do anything to stop, so this is 5, 6, 7, 8, potentially.
Yeah. This, boys and girls, is what we refer to as a race, generally speaking.
Oh, is that Dynacharge? Yeah,
yep.
that thing. Well,
I invite you to Dynacharge.
It's funny, like, yeah, was he was 1 point away from being able to actually be lethal, and the Dynacharge gives him +4/+0 for 3 mana, so he managed to make up that 1 point.
So there we go. Let's move somewhere else because that is Siow taking the there. So how about Kostler against Gryn? Because right now Jonas Kostler must win this game. Because if he doesn't win, hello, what's going on here? Concordia Pegasus and Eyes in the Skies tokens.
Those aren't Vraska assassins.
No. Carnival Hellsteed on the right. Nightmare Horse. Plus Splatter Thug that's been unleashed up against a Rubbleback Rhino. Now, what are the life totals? Because this looks brutal. In terms of Kostler on the left.
Yeah.
They built 2 Rakdos decks, the Canadians.
Yes,
2 aggressive Rakdos decks. That's what I'm saying. They drafted. I mean, yeah, I mean that's crazy that it was that deep in those many packs. That's awesome. All between 6 players.
So Maxim Gryn takes that down. That finishes it up.
Bang.
That is 2 matches for the Canadians. That guarantees they are the. Does that make our finals? It comes down to tiebreakers at this point, right?
Yeah, it's going to come down to tiebreakers.
Yep. I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah, I mean it's of no use to Holzinger, Graffenstein, and Kostler. Makes no difference whatsoever. Because they are out. I mean, and they will get. Yeah, I mean they can play on as they wish, but this isn't the tie breaks that are relevant are Woods, Froelich, Turton, Wild, Sperling, Williams, Rietzel.
Right.
Now that the Austrians are out, any of the 39s who win will top them.
Right. Well, man.
So, and they're talking about this. They're going, is there a reason for me to play? Well, arguably there is because there are 37 pointers who can get up to 40. So
it's like, yeah, let's battle. Come on.
yeah. Rollback Rhino up against Skymark Rock. Yeah, so they're playing the game out. Sweet.
Let's commentate over it. Let's do this.
Yeah. Azorius Keyrune. We don't have live titles because our scorekeeping judge has just wandered away because he decided it wasn't a real match. I should think so too. Hope you sent him back with the cattle prod.
Oh, that Rhino just got some scavenged up tokens on him. He is now a
6/7.
That is
hey, it looks just like an Axebane Stag.
Except for Axebane Stag, it doesn't have hexproof, does it?
Does not. That is the key ingredient.
Show me what it is with which you are working. All right, we've got that. I mean, not to mention the fact that now that he's got that 7 toughness, he is clearly safe from that rock's, triggered ability. I mean, we don't want to ever potentially be in a position where that might cause problems for us.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, not only does the hexproof not protect him from it, but...
Oh, dear. So...
Went there.
In we go. Lots of damage.
Kill damage.
Yeah, my precise thought. Yes. I'm not sure whether that's full seldom differ or great minds. One of them almost certainly.
Yeah.
Golgari Kirun. And Stonefair Crocodile. End of turn Skyline Predator.
That's kind of... So... Oh. And is that lethal damage right there? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
There's no way to...
Holzinger's got double detain guy coming up as Azorius Justicia.
But we also, I mean, don't forget our pseudo Axebane stag has hexproof. That's pretty good against the... I mean, he also has a key rune. You can target that because it's not land. It's right. Detain is not land.
No, it depends. They're
Some of them
different.
are. Wow.
But I'm pretty certain that this is creatures. Yeah, creatures for Justicia.
Okay, which ones are non-land? Is it like
so you do
Archon is, right?
Yeah, that's one of its super excitements.
Yeah. Is martial law
target non-land permanents? Martial law is a creature.
Okay, so it's probably just
the Archon.
All right. Good to know. Good to know.
So we gradually explore what's under the hood of these mechanics.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes a lot of flavor sense for martial law to only affect creatures. I don't know if, like, you can declare a martial law state and then use it to oppress a book. Like,
oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you can oppress books.
There we go.
Fahrenheit 451.
There we go.
Just for a start.
Nice key rune. That's mine.
Still had all these.
All right, there we go.
So they played for another couple of minutes, but the adventure for the Europeans is over for this week. They will be back in Pro Tour action, well and truly. But at that point, we know that the 2 Germans and the Austrian Holzinger will not be in your final because there will be somebody who's advanced from 39 to 42. We know that already Eric Froelich and Owen Turtenwald and Conley Woods have advanced to 42 points, but that does not guarantee them the slot in.
You know, you're just in the moment entirely, you're not thinking about you're playing this one game for $20,000 or something. That doesn't cross your mind. You're just like,
what would the Channel Fireball guys do? Because it doesn't make sense to do something that's going to lose to what they're going to do.
Hands up in the audience if you think Conley can win now. Heck of a lot more.
For the best Magic players, what begins here can end here. Or here. Who will be crowned champion, earning glory for his guild and all who wear its colors? How will the modern format change with the addition of powerful new strategies? In the city of guilds, only the strong survive.